Steve Walters asks, any tips on summer kilt styling? Anthony Keeley says, I'm going kilted to a beach wedding. I'm told it will be casual dress, but I'll be wearing the hose and flashes. What's the best footwear for sand? And Brian Greminger is saying, dark colors tend to absorb heat, and most tartans are quite dark, even when brightly colored. What tartan do you recommend for kilts dedicated to hot summer wear?
Okay. So, kilt, summer wear, beach weddings, the whole nine. Let's wrap it all up into one big one here.
Jersey Shore, August 1st.
Snooki and a kilt. There you go.
Wind.
Sorry.
I need a barf bag now.
I know. Indeed. All right. Let's start with heat in general. So, for what tartans to wear in the summer for heat purposes, I would point out a couple things. One, color darkness, or how dark or light a color is, and then the type of fabric. Those are the two biggest things that are going to affect sun heat. So I would say if you're wearing an ancient color tartan, something a little bit lighter. Ancient tartans tend to be lighter than modern. I would rather wear, Black Watch Ancient, aka Campbell, than Black Watch Modern, because the light blue, light green is going to be less warm in the beating sun than navy blue and bottle green.
Theoretically, yeah.
I would also say that a lighter weight fabric would be a little bit better. So a 13 ounce or a polyviscose would be better than 16 ounce for heat retention purposes. And maybe a lower yardage kilt, like a 5-yarder versus an 8-yarder.
Yep.
Because again, it's less fabric stacked up across your backside.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit cooler for you.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on tartan specific?
Basic disclaimer is that I am not one to let the season select my tartan. I can be very temperature sensitive personally. I can be very heat sensitive, but I'm not going to worry about it being an ancient palette tartan if the one I want to wear for that day happens to be, Royal Stewart or Nordic Heritage or something dark. I'm going to do it anyway because I'm a victim for fashion,
Suffer for your art.
Basically, I think that the other factors are far more important. I think the weight of the cloth and the type of cloth are much bigger factors. For me, what really is uncomfortable in the heat is all the layers. The color, I don't think matters nearly as much as like the bulk around your midsection. Your legs, you're fine, you're ventilated, but around here and around the midsection, that I think is more important than the tartan. Personal opinion.
No, I agree and I disagree. If you're going to be, I'm thinking like I'm sitting on a beach in one of those plastic chairs, watching a wedding. I'm in the audience.
In Dubai.
In beating down sun.
Yeah.
If I'm not moving, if there's no airflow, and it's like, it's what's on my lap, then I think a warmer or a lighter color would have a bit of an effect. Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of where my brain was going while I was going that direction.
Would you wear a dress tartan then?
I wouldn't wear a dress tartan because I don't like dress tartans. I would wear
But they're lighter colored.
I would wear America's 250th, which is the closest to a dress tartan. It's not. For those who said it is, it's not.
What about Gordon dress? There are some dress tartans that don't feel like dress tartans.
I think Gordon dress 100% feels like a dress tartan.
Oh, but we have people. I see people who wear it outside of dress tartan context.
Oh, understood. And they
whatever
can.
That even is anymore.
There is no reason why you have to or don't have to wear a dress tartan. I just don't like white in my tartans. If I was really had to have something light colored and I was going to a black and white party and I wanted to wear a kilt for some reason, and
there you go.
I wasn't wearing Menzies black and white.
Yeah.
Then sure, Gordon dress, sure.
Okay.
But I don't like it as a tartan, so I wouldn't wear it. That's where I'm suffering for my art.
There you go. See, yes. I think the aesthetic, we become hypocrites because the aesthetic actually matters to us more than the pain.
I don't think it's hypocrites. I think it's choosing your evil. Which one do you want? Do you want to be hot and fashionable in your own eyes, or do you want to be like a tenth of a degree cooler and wear a dress tartan, but feel stupid for wearing a dress tartan.
Choose the manner of your destruction. Choose and perish.
Marty.
Yeah, we have Steven and Dave on YouTube, and then Jeff on Facebook are all saying surf and sand would make a great tartan.
100%. Yeah.
Great option for that.
Yeah. No, surf and sand. That's surf and sand. Minor plug here. That is our part of our America's 250th collection. Specifically, I designed it to look like the beach, the surf, oddly enough, and the sand. So
as opposed to surf and turf, which is a very different color palette.
Yes, exactly. You need red for the lobster.
Yeah. And browns and reds for the steak. And now I'm hungry.
I know. So, what footwear would you wear in the summer? What is the rest of your outfit going to be? I know one gent said he's going to be in a beach wedding. So, and I think he had a concern about wearing wingtips on the beach versus Chuck Taylors.
Yeah.
Like, I want to wear something comfortable and casual on the beach, but at the same time, I'm wearing kiltos. What do I wear?
Wellies.
Let's just say cowboy boots. It'd be much.
There you go.
Good God,
because
no.
you're American. I'm
no.
Victoria file. So
Crocs, cowboy
Crocs,
boots.
there you go.
No, neither of those, nor wellies. Because it's not raining on the beach.
I think it's the hose and flashes part that threw me with that.
For me, he mentioned, well, I don't know if I want to wear ghillie brogues or if I want to wear wingtips on the beach. My answer is, why? Wear them. It doesn't matter. The beach isn't going unless you're in the freaking water and they're $500 pair of shoes.
Sand getting into the laces and under the tongue and stuff.
Just you bang them out when you're off the beach. It's fine. So as long as you're not walking into the water or the wet sand area, you're good. If it were me, I would do it.
But wait, before we get to the rest of this answer, just wanted to remind you that if you like what we're doing here, there's a lot of it elsewhere on the internet. We have a Facebook group, we have Reddit, right? And we're on Instagram, and we have a blog on our website, and we do a lot of other content on our YouTube channel. So follow us everywhere. Thank you. And Jordan, you can look for this vintage Chukka / Chelsea boot World War II ad.
Nope. Horrible.
See if you can find that, because I know it exists. I have it somewhere in my collection. You will hate this idea, but here's the thing. The British Army in the 1930s, I believe it was, and going through World War II, invented a version of the Chelsea boot, basically the Chukka, specifically to keep sand out when you're deployed in the desert.
I 100% understand
it's a decent enough looking, supportive enough boot for military purposes, but there's no laces or anything to catch anything. All the sand just kind of sloughs away.
So you're saying that makes sense for a casual beach wedding because he's in the 1940s, 1930s.
He's
military?
wearing hose and flashes, my dude.
Understood.
He's not taking this as casual if he's wearing hose and flashes on a beach.
But he's not in the military looking period correct military.
I know. I'm just saying that the boots, the reason the ad exists is because the military, they became popular with civilians.
And they're no longer popular for good reason with civilians.
Dear God.
No. It's casual on a beach.
Say none of these are the ad I was looking for.
Okay.
But it's this guy in khakis with a pith helmet, and he's holding up the boot like, it was good enough for us in the Army. It's good enough for you. And so I think a Chelsea boot, something that's nice and smooth. Keep the sand out. It's a little taller.
Hate
Keep
Chelsea
the sand
boots.
out.
Nope. All shoes with kilts should have laces.
Form
period.
over function.
Don't care.
Function over form.
Dying on this hill. Every shoe you
there
wear.
It is. Clark's. Yes, the original desert boot.
Yes, and he looks oh so fashionable with his freaking caterpillars above his eyes. What the heck is going on there? That guy is like 900 years old.
I say, well, look about the guys in the background. Look at those buff guys back there with their pints.
Yes, in their shorts, not their kilts.
One of them's got my forehead.
In their shorts, not their kilts. Nope.
The Clarks, yes.
Grass, great.
Okay,
wonderful.
I was mistaken. Nope. It does have the one lace. But my point is, despite my poor memory, there is precedent for this.
There can be precedent all there once. If it disagrees with me, it is no good.
You're wrong. God save the Queen.
I wouldn't.
Yes, I didn't say king.
At least there's a lace. So if you had to wear that with a kilt, sure. I would honestly wouldn't mind that with a kilt because there are laces with it.
A lace.
proper, one
minimum
yes,
minimum lace.
It's actually 3 inches long. That's where I'm going to stop on that. Now,
I'm sorry, those or a Chelsea boot would work just fine.
I don't like Chelsea boots with a kilt because it needs laces. Now, wear a pair of wingtips, you're fine. Yes.
Cowboy boots.
Can we at least agree? No sandals with kilt hose.
Totally agreed.
Okay.
Unless you're German, I guess. I don't
Or
know,
a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Right.
That's about it.
Wait. Riding boots. And you have the cuff of the kilt hoe up on top of the top edge of the riding boots. Yeah?
His opinions are why I drink. Slanja.
I do this to entertain you guys.
All right, did we answer all 3 of those questions?
I think so. Well, we have the dark colors absorbing heat. We got to that one, correct?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I think we're good.
Shoes for beach.
Yep. Great. Shoes for beach, and then the first one was summer kilt style.
And summer kilt. Okay, well, style. Generally speaking, more casual.
Yes, I would also say, if you're going to be at a wedding and you're going to be wearing a pair and you on the beach and you want to wear a pair of kilt hose and flashes
with your Clarks
or your wingtips,
or your Chelseas,
wear wingtips from Clarks. You get best of both. Clarks should sponsor us.
There you go. There's a new product line.
Exactly.
Anyway, seriously.
I would say, we started doing linen vests.
Yep.
A linen vest would be a great way to be dressy. If it were me on a beach and I wanted to be dressy casual, I would probably wear a regular dress shirt. No necktie. I'd roll up the sleeves a little bit. Maybe a linen dress shirt, linen vest, pair of ghillie brogues, or pair of wingtips. Not the boots he said. And I'd probably wear a pair of kilt hose. There's cotton kilt hose. I'd wear a pair of cotton kilt hose to keep the heat down a little bit, breathe a little bit better. Exactly.
Yep. Minor point about the shirt too is like if not a linen shirt, make sure at least it is 100% cotton. Check the fabric content of your shirt, because if it's a cotton poly, it's not going to be as comfortable by a long shot.
Yes, they're also starting to make like performance dress shirts.
This never works for me.
I understand. I had one because I bought it kind of by accident. It was like it's a 4-way stretch, and I'm like, oh great, that's all I need to know. And I bought it, and I'm like, this is like it's like silky, satiny, performancey kind of fabric. So it's not cotton at all. Yeah. But it's not bad. It moves with me. It's a tighter fitting, but it moves. So it feels sexy.
Yeah, showing off your physique, your manly martial arts physique.
Indeed. Yes, I can do martial arts in it.
Right.
So, all
right. So, yeah, and then what about a hat in the summer, though? Do you bend?
A boonie hat, of course.
No, but do you bend?
Or your pith helmet from your stupid ad.
I actually do own a pith helmet.
I know you
do, sir. I need a new one, though. No, but seriously, would you bend the rule for a broader brimmed hat, because we've said before that a broad brimmed hat just doesn't, it disrupts the line.
Yeah, no. If I have hair, I wouldn't wear a hat with it on the beach. I would just go hatless. If it were me on the beach, I would wear probably a linen flat cap, because being follically challenged as I am, I'm gonna burn. If you are bald, you know this. You get sunburn on your head one time. From then out, you wear hats, period. That's it. End of story. Yeah. So I'd probably wear either a linen flat cap or something like that, just as a head cover.
One of those beach bum kepis from the 80s with the split tail in the back.
Or a full-on sombrero. That's what they're there for.
There you go.
Or
that's the thing. And we are basically forcing a fashion which was developed in a cool climate into a hot climate. Thank you, global weirding. But anyway,
or diaspora.
Yeah, both. But I mean, you do have to make compromises sometimes. Do not have a heat stroke at a wedding. I mean,
not with that attitude.
If you don't have gear that's going to be perfect to look exactly the way you want, do compromise if you're going to be so uncomfortable it becomes disruptive, and you become disruptive for the occasion. If it's a choice between wearing your perfect, beautiful tweeds, which you love very much, or the heavier weight kilt because you love it, and you wind up having a heat stroke in the middle of somebody's wedding, compromise a little bit. You know what I mean?
Do.
Right. I mean, not to mention sweat stains. I would say I would argue towards a linen jacket just because you're going to look more elegant and you're not showing off sweat. I sweat like a pig. It's another reason why I like black shirts a lot of the time. So,
to a degree, form follows function, which is frankly why they're asking the question.
Yeah.
So
because
I would say, it's again not to rehash exactly what you just said, but yes, kilts were designed to wear in the Highlands, where it is much cooler and much harsher. So they get rain a lot more than we do. This is not muggy Florida summer on the beach. This is designed to be worn in the cool, in the rain, that kind of thing. So, adapting the fabrics and your choices in that way, and or your head cover in that way, and or your hose material in that way. And to some degree, I would possibly even say getting a PV kilt versus a wool kilt.
Yeah.
Would be a better choice for an outdoor summer wedding. Less yardage, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You want to suffer for your art, but you don't want to suffer too much.
Right. Pretty much.
You want to suffer just the right amount of suffering.
And always test these outfit ideas before, if it's an important occasion like a wedding and there's going to be photos, especially if you're going to be in photos, test the outfit one day before if you can.
Yeah.
Not the exact day before, but a day earlier. Whatever.
Early enough that you can adjust if need be.
Right. So you can buy a new kilt from USA Kilts.
So you can adapt and overcome and something. All right.
It's one of my favorite mottos, actually.
And
adapt and overcome.
Yeah. And knowing's half the battle. Yo, Joe.
G.I. Joe.